Hey guys, I figured we would just go live and hang out tonight. I know I've been trying to go live for a while now, so you guys can ask questions and whatnot. So the chat is open, and if you guys are new to lives or not familiar with how lives work, hey Diamond, how are you guys? Lives are for you guys to ask me questions. I'm literally here right now in live time. It's literally that. And you can type into the chat box. Hey, I'm doing well, Stephanie. How are you? Hey, Serenity. I can chat with you guys as you chat with me. And I don't know if I'm going to be pulling cards today. I'm actually a little sick, which is why I haven't posted yet this week. I thought they were allergies. I think I'm actually sick. Patrons, you will know as you see these videos come out. Hey, do you say that Jasmine? That's a pretty way to spell Jasmine, if that's how you say it, if I'm saying it right. Yes. I've been trying to get some videos done. I even did the water signs at the end of last week, but I was so sick during them. Like my nose was running and my eyes were so bad. I was like, I can't post these on the internet because I was just like, I'm going to end up in a meme somewhere from just how bad I was. I was just like, I can't do this. Thank you guys. I'm feeling better though. So I've been loading up on medicine. Hey guys, how are you? Hey Marissa. But if you guys have any questions, or I might play with some cards just because I know it's been a while, but typically if you have personal questions, I do those through super chats. If you're familiar with what super chats are like just donations. People send like $1, $2, whatever it is, and it's just so I'll do like 1 or 2 cards on a question for you, depending. I might do that. I don't know if energetically I'm up for that right now, but I'll let you guys know in a little bit after more people enter the chat if that's something that I want to do tonight. But I know a lot of people have questions about manifestation, how to do manifestation. Remember, you are funny, goofy one, in a good way. Yes, I try to have fun with my readings for sure. I'm actually just cleaning up from a Patreon reading I did. Because I've been trying to get my internet fixed. I've been trying to get new internet so I can post videos easier, because I used to record them live on YouTube so I can have them out like really quick. And when I moved, I didn't have the same internet provider. And I had somebody here for like 6 hours last week. And then they came to do construction to install this new line today. And then they're like, actually, we can't give you our internet because it turns out that it was a false line. It's not actually our line. It turns out it's this other company. And we're like, what? Now I'm stuck with, hello, my dear. How are you? This new moon. Oh my gosh, this new moon's hitting me really hard. I'm a Libra sun. So Aries is my polarity. So it's hitting me really hard because not only is it's literally blasting my relationship house, it's blasting my 7th house and my 2nd house, so relationships and work. So it's hitting my 2 major houses right now that I'm manifesting in, and it's been a really big shakeup. I'm also Capricorn rising, so I'm a workaholic, and it's hard for me to focus on self-care when I'm really focused on work. And so when the universe kind of forces me to focus on self, because Aries is the sign of self, I kind of get like, and I think that's kind of why I got sick, because the universe is like, we're going to force you to rest if you don't rest. And I wasn't resting. The universe is like, we're going to give you a reason to rest. So I was definitely forced to sit on my butt. And that happens quite often with Aries energy with me, because I have a lot of Capricorn and a lot of Scorpio in my chart. Yeah, and so I took these last 4 days. I blocked off my calendar. As my patrons know, I took yeah, North Node Capricorn's a nice placement to have. And so let me see. I'll tell you guys a little bit about my chart, because I get blah blah blah, my words. I get a lot of questions on my chart. I'm a Libra sun, I'm a Leo moon, and I'm a Capricorn rising, but I also have 2 planets in Capricorn and a lot of planets in Scorpio. So I got a lot of Scorpio, a lot of Capricorn, and I also have my 12th house in Capricorn. So I have my first and my 12th in Capricorn. Not a lot of Capricorn, a lot of Scorpio in my chart. So I can be really stubborn. What's my Lilith? My Lilith is Aries. And my Venus is Virgo. Oh, damn. Yep, I got a Virgo placement in Venus. Yeah. Yeah, Venus is not happy in Virgo, and she's not happy in Gemini. Nope. And me and my partner, he's a Gemini for his Venus placement. And so we talked about that a lot. Let me catch up on these. Sag Sun, Venus. Sag Sun and Venus, Moon and Aries, Rising Leo, all fire signs, man on fire. Oh, wow, that's a lot of fire. Yeah. Just hung out with the Cap Sun, with the Cap Rising, and Mercury and Cap and Venus. That's a lot of Capricorn. I really like Capricorn energy, though. My boyfriend's mom, she's a really strong Capricorn. I like Capricorn energy because it's not only the oldest of the earth signs, but it's very grounded. Like, it's very reliable. It's very stable energy. It can be really stubborn, though. Like, every sign has positives and negatives. Every sign has a shadow. So I don't have a favorite sign, though, that's for sure. Which planet is the rising? Rising is just another word for your ascendant sign. Your rising sign is going to be dictated by the time you are born. So I've actually had a lot of clients who are adopted, and if you don't have your original birth certificate, or you're not aware of like the time you're born, it's going to be difficult to dictate the planets and how they fall in your chart, because your rising sign is actually what dictates how your planets fall. I talked a lot about this in that video, how to interpret tarot as a viewer. I go over the chart a little bit in that. How many degrees is your moon? My moon, my Leo moon, is at 26 degrees. It's in my 7th house. Yes. Yep, I got a lot going on in my 7th house. And okay, let me see. I'm really glad you caught me live too, Jillian. Libra and Cappy makes perfect sense. Yes. Yep. Yep. Virgo Sun, Scorpio Moon, Gemini Rising, a lot of Virgo. Yeah, you do got a lot of Virgo. You do. Yes, you do, Damon, my love. I like Capricorns too. Capricorns are fun. Virgo Sun. Virgos are fun. Virgos, I always have fun with Virgos. I do. I think I find Virgo to be like a tough sign, though. I have a Virgo in Venus. I think I find Virgo to be tough because I have it in my Venus placement, though. So my relationship with my Venus placement is a little tough. If I'm looking over here, it's just because my computer's broken. I have 3 computers in front of me right now. So I have my monitor, so I can actually see what you guys are saying. Scorpio and Mars and Scorpio. Scorpio and Mars and Scorpio. Do you mean your Scorpio Sun and your Mars is in Scorpio? And your mom is a Leo. Aqua Sun, Virgo Rising, Sag Moon, Venus, and Capricorn. Aqua Sun. You probably felt it in the beginning of the year a lot with the Aqua Sun, Virgo Rising, Sag Moon. Yeah. Ooh, you probably, the beginning of the year probably really got you. And then Stephanie, Virgo Sun, Capricorn Moon, Libra Rising. Oh, that's a nice little combo. A Virgo Sun, a Capricorn Moon, and a Libra Rising. That's a nice balance. That's a nice balance. I like that. Lilith Scorpio and lots of Libra placements. Lots of Libra. Lots of Libra can be, I have a lot of Libra in my chart too. That could be tough because so is my boyfriend. That makes you like a really big giver, like a really giving, like really loving, very nurturing. You gotta be careful with the whole like giving to your detriment thing at times, but that Capricorn moon will help balance that out. Carl, Virgo moon, Virgo rising. Ooh, a lot of earth, a lot of earth. I have so much Virgo, it's a mess. Yeah, you do, Diamond. Taurus rising. I don't think I know any Taurus risings. Always. Thank you, Serenity, for being here. Exactly. Yes. Your rising has to do with how you present yourself to the world. It's also like how your friends and coworkers, people in your environment are going to perceive you. So if people don't think you resonate with your sun sign, right? If someone were to read your sun sign horoscope, they're going to be like, that doesn't sound like you. If you read them your rising sign, they're probably going to think that sounds more like you, which is why I personally like to watch my rising sign first, because my rising sign typically resonates with me a lot more than my sun sign does. So I watch my rising, then my sun, and then my moon. Oh, thank you, Jillian. Yeah, I'm really trying to get more readings out this week. I'm trying to get back to doing all 12 zodiacs a week. I know I've been slacking. I know I have. I'll just own it. Like totally. I'm totally about accountability here. It's just my internet since I've moved always crashes. So like videos when I upload them are just, it's just such a pain. It is such a pain. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. And I bought a new laptop, and since it's the new MacBook, now that I've updated it, it's not working with my camera. So I have to use my broken camera in this thing. And it's been chaos, guys. It's been chaos. What does the degrees mean and how does it affect signs? I just need to do a whole video on this, to be honest. I need to do a whole video on like charts and signs for you guys, because I got a lot of questions on this. So short and sweet, there's a certain amount of degrees in your chart. Like for each house, there's a certain amount of degrees. I think it's like a span of 23 degrees or something. I need to double check because my brain is fried right now. But there's a certain amount of degrees that each house spans, and where your degrees fall. So for example, my first house, let's say my first house starts at 10 degrees. It's just saying that at that time that I was born, my house started at 10 degrees, right? So at 0, let's just say for shits and giggles, they are 23 degrees. 0 to 23 would be the first house. But my first house at the time I was born started at 10 degrees because that's just how everything was orbiting. That's all it means, is that at that point in time, the planet or that zodiac sign was at 10 degrees when I was born. And it's just going to affect the way that the rest of the zodiac signs fall into the houses, depending on what time you're born. That's why the time is so significant, because it dictates how everything else is going to fall, how everything's going to align. So knowing the time you're born, your ascendant sign, well, you're going to know your ascendant by the time you're born, is really important. Rev up your vacuums. I missed it. Are we talking about my allergies? Probably. I missed the joke. Oh, I appreciate it. Venus and Mars and Scorpio. That's what you, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I get it now. Divine Spirit. I get it. Venus and Mars and Scorpio. Ooh, I like having Scorpio and Venus placements. That's sexy. That's some sexy time. My mom is a Libra. Her mom is a monster-in-law. It's funny. Hey, collective. Hey, Divine Spirit. Oh, you guys are cute. I'm Aquarius Sun, Sag Moon. I have Aries and Venus. Aries and Venus. And 3 water sign placements. Cap in my chart twice. Aquarius and Saturn. Aquarius and Saturn. Ooh. Ooh. So you're going through a Saturn return. Libra, Jupiter. I have all the elements almost, can we say crazy? Yeah, it's a little crazy. I'm going through Saturn return too. 0 water in your chart. I've never really looked at, like, I have earth, water, fire, air. Yep, got them all. Got them all right. The first 4 I looked at. Scorpio Sun. Yeah, 23 people. 25 now. Look at us. We popping. We got plenty of friends. Okay, I'll tell you guys where my planets are. So I have my sun in Libra, moon in Leo, Mercury's in Scorpio, which is why I'm not gonna lie, I really like doing the Scorpio readings. I have like some really strong planets in Scorpio. My Venus is in Virgo, my Mars is in Scorpio, my Jupiter is in Libra, my Saturn's in Aquarius, my Uranus is in Capricorn, Neptune in Capricorn, Pluto is in Scorpio. So I have a really strong Pluto placement because Scorpio is really happy in Pluto. North Node is in Sag. Yeah. Yep. That's a fun one. Lilith is in Aries. Yep. Yeah. They got interesting. My houses are really interesting too. My Midhaven's in Scorpio as well. Gosh, I got a lot of Scorpio. And it's crazy. It's crazy to see, like, oh, what did I miss? Yeah, Diamond Loyal. True Virgos, yes. Wow, I'm missing the whole chat that's going on here. Okay. Tell me what kind of readings you guys want. Do you want more general readings or do you want more love readings? Because I know YouTube's kind of like blasted with love readings, to be honest with you, which is kind of why it's not that I don't focus on love readings. I just prefer to channel what you most need to hear kind of readings, you know, which tend to be a lot more about healing. Career readings. Okay. I've been feeling that. Yeah. Career readings. Yeah, I know the collective. Hello, how are you, Ronald Berry? Thank you. Even though I have a really runny nose and a cold, I appreciate that. I got plenty of love, finance, and career. I like the general readings. I feel so disgusting right now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, I know I'm wiping my nose. I just got no shame, to be honest. Spiritual growth readings and healing. Guidance messages. Prosperity. Career readings would be a change. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, for real though. For real. You got no idea. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's so weird. Actually one of you that I was like chit-chatting with in the comments, we had a personal reading recently together. You're not in here right now, but I know you watch the lives after the fact. I think we just have a time zone difference. I had a career in finance reading with somebody lately, and like sometimes when I do like personal readings, like they'll be about. So I'll just for example. So let's say we have a personal reading, right? And you want to know about career and finance. It might not be directly about your career and finance, but it might be about what is blocking your 10 of Pentacles energy from coming in. And I feel like if I were to do that for the collective, it would be a lot of that. Like, if you're trying to manifest your 10 of Pentacles, this is what's blocking you from your 10 of Pentacles. Because with Aries energy we have going on right now, tell everybody I'm a master manifestor. Damn right. We're all master manifestors because it's unity consciousness. If I'm a master manifestor, you're a master manifestor, we're master manifestors. We're all connected. We're all one. Hell yeah. Damn right we are. Hi, how are you, Amanda? How do you feel about the twin flame journey? I have to ask some YouTuber support. It. Others don't. Recreate our own reality. Damn right. So twin flame journey. I don't really have a definition of that. I just think of twin flames in the sense, I don't really think of it as a journey. I just kind of think of it as another connection, you know, kind of like how you have a karmic connection, a soulmate connection, a twin flame connection. I just think of it as another form of connection, right? So you have the soul that comes to earth that splits in half. You have the feminine and the masculine half, right? I think that's your twin. When I met my twin, it was just somebody who I had encountered, and we mirrored each other because that's what you do. You mirror each other because you're the same soul split in half. So all you're basically doing is showing each other's shadow. So my light was their shadow was my light, and vice versa, right? If I said that properly. And it's a very healing, it's a very eye-opening connection. It's something that's really intoxicating. It's something that for some people might be toxic. Other people, it might not be toxic. It wasn't necessarily toxic for me. It was just something that was very, I found very hard to detach from, very on and off. Because people mix things up doesn't mean you are meant to be in a romantic relationship. Exactly. So mine, it was like romantic and we were together and then we would be apart, because what was happening is when we were together, we would see each other's shadow. We would learn that lesson. But then because we were so much in each other's energy, remember, it's like that sponge theory I always say, when you squeeze a sponge too tight, it never gets to expand again. So we were too much in each other's energy. And so then he would ghost or I would ghost. But as we were ghosting one another, that's when we would evolve. That's when we would raise our consciousness or ascend to the next level, right? And after we had a few weeks or a few months apart, like magnets, back together, have a few months together, up, squeezing too tight, up, apart. And it was on and off and on and off until eventually one person decided, I don't want to do this anymore, or I've reached my journey where I want to stop. And that was cool. I was like, okay, that's cool. I'm going to keep going because obviously I live a very spiritual lifestyle. That individual wanted to walk a different path, and that's okay. But it was just understanding that that was the point of the journey, right? And that was their free will choice, right? That's where human free will comes in. So let me see. We create a blah, 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 blah. I already read all those. We get a lotta to cleanse our sinuses. Get a lotta. Oh, like a neti pot? Is that what that is? To cleanse your sinuses? I probably will, because it's a mess up in there. Yeah, being present tense affirmations, gratitude affirmations for the present moment is always a lifesaver for me. I can't predict the future, therefore I create and rewrite my own. Exactly. I have a little book over there that I try every day to manifest in, and it's always the thing that kind of brings me back to source, back to myself. The days I don't do that are the days I feel like, what am I doing? Where have I gone? How do you get rid of what, Serenity? Oh, don't say that, Spirit of Breezy. Don't say that. You don't mean that. It's just a challenge. Holistic healer. Oh yeah, it's so ironic you just said that. I just bought that. How to do the work, is that what you're talking about? I just bought that. It's going to be delivered Wednesday. That's so funny. Is that the book you're talking about, Diamond? I just ordered that on Amazon. It's going to be here Wednesday. It's so weird you just said that. If that's a book you're talking about. How to do the work. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I just got that because that's what I was talking about on Patreon. So if you guys ever hear me on YouTube talking about naming your ego to be something separate than yourself, it's just, hey, Lynn, I'm doing well. How are you? It's something that I found from this, the holistic psychologist. on Instagram. It's a technique that she uses. And she actually wrote this book, How to Do the Work. And she's just somebody who I follow on Instagram. And I really like the way that she talks about the ego. She talks about doing healing and addressing the shadow. And if you have Instagram, I highly recommend checking out her page. I don't sponsor or anything. It's just something I genuinely enjoy looking at. And I think she's really beneficial for the collective, and she does really good work. Just okay? No, we want you to be great. You're great. You're fantastic. You're wonderful. We're all wonderful, right? We're all the bomb.freaking.com. Is it good? Oh, Shima. Oh, hot damn. We got the 2 in here. Which tarot deck is my favorite? That's an easy answer. That's an easy answer. My Divine Feminine deck. I call it my Divine Feminine. All my decks have a different meaning to me. It's actually called Marchetti Tarot. But it is this deck. And how you doing, Shima? A boo thing. I love this deck, especially for the Empress card. I think it's the most gorgeous Empress card ever created. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. I do. I'm in love with it. The Holistic Psychologist is the Instagram account. The Holistic Psychologist. Yeah. I'll hold it up for you. There you go. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, my phone looks really dirty on here. Oh, that's gross. Jordyn, you nasty, you ratchet ass. Clean your screen. Yep, that's all I got for you. Okay. And the book is linked in the bio of her page. It is called How to Do the Work. It's actually going to be linked in her link tree that is linked in the bio of her page. But it's called How to Do the Work. What is the name of it? What is IG count? I love reading, please. Purple sides. Yes, I'm doing fantastic. Other than a little nasally, but we're getting there. Where do I get my cards? Okay, so I get my with your ratchet ass. Yup. Yup. And I get my cards from, sorry, just blanked. I get my cards from a lot of different places. So this was from Sarah Marchetti's website directly. A lot of the tarot decks I get from Amazon.com. Because honestly, if you go into like stores and get tarot decks, they're going to upsell them. They're typically more expensive. So I have this amazing esoteric shop that I go to, but she always prices the tarot decks like really high. So what I do is I take a picture of the tarot deck that I like, and I typically look on Amazon for it when I'm in the store, and it's typically cheaper, and that's where I'll buy it. Because if you go in the shops, they typically have like example decks, so you can flip through the decks in the store and see if you actually like all of it, so you don't have to order it and then you're stuck with a tarot deck that you bought. Because with tarot decks, once you open the box, typically they don't allow you to, well, they will allow you to return it, but most people don't want a tarot deck that's, I know I don't want a tarot deck that's open, but that's just me. Like, it's an energy thing. Like, I've only bought one deck that's been opened, and it's because it was a really rare deck, and they are overpriced. I just ordered some of the same cards off Amazon. It was cheaper. Exactly. Yeah. The only tarot deck, it's not even a tarot deck, it's an oracle deck that I've ever gotten that was open was my Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. And if you know this deck, you know exactly why I got this. Hey, Kelly, you know exactly why I got this, right? Yeah. Yeah. Books A Million. Books A Million has really good tarot decks. They could be a little pricey sometimes too. But I've gotten a few decks from them because honestly, they're really comparable to Amazon as well. I go to the mall and get from Books A Million all the time. The book looks so red and orange, fits my fire chart. Yes. Okay, we're talking about, can you do a general reading with Gaia deck? I've been thinking about using the Gaia deck. I know I've talked about it on Patreon a lot for you guys. There's something about that deck that just, I'll show you. It's just, it's not like an intimidating deck to me. It's just, I think it's it's not, how do I explain it? I don't know. Maybe I just gotta hold it. I've had this is one of the first decks I bought too, and I just really haven't played with it. You can tell because it's like brand spanking new looking. It's barely touched. Hello, Blue Water TV with all your bees. Sure. A grumpy deck. I've never thought about calling one of those decks that, but I have gotten a grumpy deck, but I think when you put them in timeout and you don't use them for a little, eventually you start to like them. It is intense. Goddess Oracle was my first Oracle deck. Are you talking about Goddess Guidance? This is your first Oracle deck? Hello, Gary. How are you? Ooh, that's awesome. I want to go to England. I want to go to England so bad. Come pick me up. Can we Uber there? Can we Uber there? Is that possible? That's crazy that was your first Oracle deck. You know, these go for like $400 right now. And I found the sweetest woman on eBay who was like, I'll just give it to you for 25 doll hairs. And I was like, 25 doll hairs? I love you. Thank you, universe. Because I was waiting for months to get this deck because I really didn't want to do like the mini deck again like I did for Romance Angels. Hello, Cassandra. And there's something about Pluto retrograde in here I'm looking for. Any major influences we should know about with Pluto retrograde? I'm gonna be honest, I haven't really looked into Pluto retrograde quite yet because I was taking a break because that Aries new moon really rocked my shit, and then I got sick and have some family stuff going on. My mom has surgery tomorrow, so I got a lot going on my plate. Yep. I know we're going to be talking about Pluto retrograde on Patreon though, and I'm pretty sure I didn't put it in the energy shift, but I did put it in my phone. Do you ladies read tarot as well? I just started readings, maybe been at it for about a couple months now. I'm getting more comfortable. I just ordered more cards. Oh my God, I was so happy when I found this deck. Yeah, when I first started reading tarot, I remember I only played with my Rider-Waite tarot, and I was probably playing with that deck every day, and I do not recommend doing that because what you're going to do is you're going to overwork your crown, and then you're going to get into the test of the intuition versus the ego, and then what's going to happen is you're not going to understand what you're really pulling cards on. And I'd highly recommend being patient with the process and really grounding yourself, because what typically happens when you get into tarot is we get really excited, right? We get really excited about raising our consciousness and talking to spirit and talking to source. I know I did, and I kind of got addicted to it. And you just want to like sit and spend time with your cards and time with spirit, or whatever label you'd like to use, right? And it's a beautiful thing. But when you start to open yourself up like that and you become energetically depleted, that's when messages can become very distorted. And you need to be very mindful of, I literally have a bulletin board in front of me, and it has ground yourself, center yourself, right? You want to make sure that your roots are really, really deep. So you ground, you center, then you open up your chakras, then you want to make sure that you shield yourself. And that's what a lot of people forget to do, is how to properly shield their energy. Because a lot of times people open up and they don't protect their energy. They don't put that energetic shield. So if you get really lightheaded or you get very heavy in the head, when you do readings or when you do any energy work, you might be holding energy versus allowing it to pass through you, right? So for example, I actually had one of my patrons, we were FaceTiming, and she was doing a reading for me and I was doing a reading for her. And because we just became really close friends. And she started getting really, really lightheaded. She's like, your energy's intense. I was like, it's intense. I said, but you're also holding it. And she's like, getting really dizzy. She's like, I feel like I'm going to faint. I was like, okay, pause, breathe. It's kind of funny. I was like, don't hold my energy. I was like, pause and breathe and picture it passing through you to the ground, right? If the tree analogy doesn't work for you, because it's not going to work for everybody, right? Picture your feet in sand. I tell my patrons that not all the time do I picture myself as a tree. Sometimes I picture myself like I have a dress on and that roots are coming out the sides of me like a dress skirt, right, into the ground. And sometimes I picture Mother Earth actually coming up and grabbing the base of my legs versus me going down into Mother Earth and connecting to her, right? There's different ways to really ground and root yourself. But you have to find what resonates with you. And once you do, stick to that for a little bit until you actually solidify that imagery in your mind, because visualizing it is actually what's going to imprint it. It's what's going to help you. And it's what's going to build that practice for you and make it that much stronger. Okay. But grounding, doing that is actually what's going to make your channel much clearer, because you're a channel. You're not a vessel for other people's energy. Okay. That's my little rant. Yes, almost as I put them up for a minute. Yeah. Hello, relating to this so much. I have a hard time getting grounding and shielding. I know. I've been in your energy. I dug through your body. The beach is usually easier for me to ground. Yeah, picturing your feet in sand, or literally sitting in sand, or picturing the ocean washing over your feet and like visualizing and imagining that feeling of the water pulling you deeper into the sand. That helps me a lot too. My name's Jordyn, by the way. Jordyn. Yes, with a Y. Thanks, Janine. You're so sweet. Any advice on what happens during the beginning of clairaudience? Ooh, yeah. So that's an interesting one. I hadn't. So for those of you who are new, yes, it is. Your appointment, I think, is it Thursday or is it Friday with me? Let me check really quick. I'll talk about clairaudience in 2 seconds. Thursday at 11. Damn, everybody reading now. I just use my energy on mastering my manifestation. Yes. It is Thursday. Yes. Okay. Clairaudience. So when any form of, and they creep me out, been getting random ringing and hearing static in complete silence. Oh, hold on. My nose gets itchy. I'll try not to sneeze. Hey, Miles, how are you? Okay. I brought out Gaia. I'm like, we'll talk about it after I talk about clairaudience. You guys know me. I get sidetracked really easily. Oh, I didn't even organize this deck, so good thing I brought it out. So when any clairs come in, right? And for those of you who are new, who don't really know about my clairs, I have claircognizance, I have clairaudience, I have clair knowing, clair seeing, clair hearing, right? If you don't know what the clairs are, I have clair feeling. That's with mediumship though. So I don't, I see people, and I can feel how they pass, and I'll taste, which is not fun. They don't really say much to me though, which is kind of weird. But when my clairs came in, for those of you who are new, it was very sudden. So my advice to you is, one, please ground yourself like crazy, because the more grounded you are, the easier it is to surrender to the process, right? Because what happens when we start ascending, right? Universal energy, white light, is beaming down through your crown, through your spiritual gateway, or causal chakra, as a lot of people call it. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to put out more discounts, and that was the main reason of me switching my website over in the beginning of the year, was so I could actually apply discounts for you guys too, because I knew that we had some people that were international and the pricing conversions were really, really high. So I'm glad that they're helping you guys. I'm glad. And I discounted the hourly readings too, and I decided just to leave them at that discounted rate. I was only going to do it for the month, but I just left them at I just left the $10 off indefinitely. So hopefully that helps. I hope so. Because for those of you who are new, they used to be 85, and I left them at the 75, and I just left whatever discounts are there. But when your clairaudience and things start coming in, what's happening is basically you're ascending to a higher level of consciousness, and that's allowing gifts and abilities to start coming into your awareness, right? So your upper chakras, your crown, your third eye, throat, heart space are starting to open. They're starting to get this beam of white light going into them because the higher consciousness is pulling you, right? So as universe, white source, angels, ancestors, guides, labels, whatever labels you'd like to put on them, are helping you ascend, your only job is to keep your ass grounded, right? Because picture the tree. If your tree, your limbs are ascending and they're growing, and they're stretching out, and they're touching cosmos and stars and skies and source and all this jazz up in the universe, your roots need to be grounded. You need to be just as deep as you are high. You need to be just as rooted as you are ascended. Because if not, that very tall, strong tree is just going to flop right over, right? Universe, spirit, source is doing its job to help you ascend. Those gifts are going to become much more clear. Your channel is going to become much more clear. When you become more stable, more secure, and have more faith and trust that you are capable of harnessing those abilities, right? And trust and faith is the root chakra, right? Self-worth and having that confidence in self is the sacral chakra. And then your solar plexus is where the ego lies. It's that I can, right? Affirmation, okay? Exactly. And so when I have to keep myself very grounded, I've always been a medium with my earliest experience happening at 8 years old. I haven't learned. I really have to. Yeah. So grounding your energy is also going to help you stay really protected. We were talking about shielding earlier. So like for myself, when I have multiple ways I do shielding. I personally really like to keep this big old smoky quartz by me. I really like smoky quartz. I typically always have black tourmaline on me, but I give it to my boyfriend because he needs to be much more shielded than I do right now, because he's going through an ascension. And obviously, like, I know how to do my shielding. So my shielding is I charge the shield to protect me. No harmful energy may enter. Only energy of my highest good may reach me. I charge the shield to protect me from physical, energetic, and psychic attack, harm, pollution, bad intention, and attachment, whether it be of my own making or of others, as I will, so mote it be. That technically is Wicca. I'm not Wicca. I'm not really anything. I claim omnis, which is basically whatever floats my freaking boat, because whatever floats my freaking boat is what floats my boat. So that's what I do. And whatever floats your boat is what floats your boat. But that's what one of my mentors taught me, and it's what resonates with me. So whatever resonates with you is what resonates with you. But when I do that, I visualize embodying whatever color my aura is, and I also visualize sitting within a smoky quartz crystal. Because when you visualize sitting within something that's translucent, like smoky quartz, crackled quartz, you don't want to visualize something solid because it's going to block out all energy. Something translucent allows not positive, I'll say energy of your highest good to enter, but it's going to deflect energy that is harmful from entering, right? It's a filter. Yes. And then when it comes to crystals, I personally am a firm believer of whatever crystals resonate with you. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, black tourmaline is great for protection. I really like smoky quartz. I like black tourmaline bracelet. Am I a ride or die black tourmaline person? I really like smoky quartz. That's me personally, but it's what you resonate with. I'm really crystal sensitive, so it's whatever I'm in the mood for that day. Every time I see the sun, moon, or stars, I sing and mumble to it, and universe loves me back. Works for me. Exactly. Like when I go outside, I definitely talk to the moon at night. Like I always talk to like Mother Moon. And I know when I go outside and I walk my dogs in the morning, I like to have my bare feet on the ground, and I like to open up my arms and open up my chest and do breath work then, because it helps me get grounded. It helps me open up. It helps me feel ready for the day. But it also helps me like feel appreciation, gratitude for what's already here, what's already in front of us. I think that's something that we need to remember, right? Let's see. I bought 2 huge pieces of smoky quartz. Yeah. Smoky quartz is the bomb.com. I feel like I channel music messages from songs either pop in my head. Yeah, songs always pop in my head. And I'm like, I haven't heard that song in like 15 years. Why is this in my head right now? Exactly. I also have a ton of live plants. Yes, I'm a plant whore. I'm just going to say it. I am. I got about 40 plants in my house right now. Yep. My house ain't that big. Yeah, about 40 plants inside, not even counting the ones that are outside. Plants are really good though. Always talk to the moon too. Makes me feel amazing and full of positive energy. Yes, I love it. I don't know what it is. Like, no offense, son. No offense, father, son. I love you. I love you. But there's something about the moon that I'm just like, my heart, that femininity that just like makes it melt. It does. How do you know you're crystal sensitive? You want to know how I know? When I was, so I'll break down my story for those of you who are like super new. So had a seizure, hit my temple, was blind, deaf, paralyzed. Fast forward 8 months later when I was still paralyzed, but I could see and hear again. My aunt was like, hey, try out a Reiki practitioner. I was not spiritual at this point at all. I wasn't religious or anything. And I was like seeing people in my room and I was like, why am I seeing people? Maybe because I damaged so much in my brain. I thought I was just going crazy. And I was like hearing things, and my aunt is like real spiritual and stuff. And she's like, go to a Reiki practitioner. And so I was like, you're crazy. And I went to a Reiki practitioner. And this Reiki practitioner ended up being my first mentor. And I laid down on the table. She did her dang thing. And throughout the whole session, I was just getting channels and seeing things. And she pulled me out of the session. And she just looked at me like, and I was like, who is that woman? She goes, wait, you saw a woman? I was like, yeah, there was like 3 women. She goes, oh, you saw Hecate? And I was like, yeah, I saw who? Hecate. So she knew I saw like her channel. And then she handed me actually this crystal, this beautiful little crystal right here. And I held it and she goes, what do you feel? And I told her that, it made me like giggle, and it's citrine. And she was like, that's citrine. She goes, it's meant to make you happy. And then she handed me green calcite next. And I told her like, it made me feel like really calm and like chill. And she was like, so you're crystal sensitive too. And I was like, what's going on here? Like, what are we doing? I thought this was supposed to be a Reiki session. I thought you're just supposed to like put your hands on me a little bit, make me not paralyzed anymore. And I wasn't. After like 3 sessions, I could feel my legs and my arms again on my right side, which was pretty cool. But that's how I found out I was crystal sensitive. And also is how I found out that the things I was seeing in my room were not me losing my mind. It was actually attachments and me being really, I was so out of my body because I damaged 3/4 of my brain. So she told me, she goes, you are so out of your body that what you're seeing is just, you're just not present. She goes, I can't even get you back into body. It took me a few months to get back into body, but that's how I started. That was my ascension. So my ascension was not like a normal ascension. It was literally the universe like, hey, you're so off your path. We're just going to damage your brain and pull you from your body until you realize that you're not supposed to be doing what you're doing. So that was that. But that's how I found out I was crystal sensitive. This was during my first Reiki session. And that's when I found out that I was meant to be a Reiki practitioner. She turned into my teacher. And that's when I got into tarot. And that's when my journey started. And here I am. Ta-da. I appreciate that. Thank you, Spirit of Breezy. Yeah, 33 people. Hey, hey. Thank you, Gary. It was funny though. I had my boyfriend holding crystals the other day to see if he was crystal sensitive. And he is, and he was like, "What are you doing to me?" Because he's Southern Baptist, and it's the funniest thing ever. Is so funny. Because I handed him blue kyanite, and because blue kyanite's really going to open up your intuition. It's really going to open up your third eye, and it's going to make your crown like really just blast open. It's really good. I really like kyanite. It's really good to for your throat chakra as well. And we were just testing out some crystals. I was just kind of playing, and so I gave him some like really nice like gentle ones to start, and then the very last one I gave him was blue kyanite. I was like, okay, well before we leave my room, I was like, just hold this one for me. He was like, oh, this gives me a headache. I started laughing. He goes, why are you laughing? I was like, no, it's your third eye opening. He's like, what's my forehead hurt? He's like, it's make my head hurt. I was like, no, it's your third eye trying to open. I thought it was so funny. I was like, you're crystal sensitive. So what's that mean? So now he wears them. You find out. You gotta find like true like crystals that are genuine, that are clean, that have been cleansed, and I don't let mine sit out in like the sun or moonlight or anything. I just kind of I sage them and I put them in their box, and I'll show you. I'll just show you. I just keep them rolling here. I got a lot of crystals. This is blue kyanite. It's a really interesting crystal. It does make your head hurt right away, though. So does lapis lazuli, though. This is really high frequency, which is why it's the only one I'm wearing today. Blue kyanite. It's a really pretty crystal, but shit gets a little crazy. It's a little crazy with that one. I got hiccups. I don't know why. Got some rose quartz. Got some Kambaba jasper, green venturine, carnelian, red jasper, amethyst, more rose quartz, bumblebee jasper, some crystal I don't know how to pronounce, some hematite, another crystal that I don't know how to pronounce, but it has it's like a rondosite or something in it. And this is a mixture of that with, oh wait, I have this one. Oh, I just got this one. What are you called? I don't know, but it's really cute. It's basically meant for communication, learning how to communicate with self, and I'm rude. No, I'm not rude. I just having a little fun. Just having a little fun with them. I wasn't rude. Just playing. Yeah, I keep mine. This is a cedar box as well. It's a little cheap little box, though. I will say that. I love keeping them in boxes. Are the crystals sold at Earthbound? Real? I've always wondered, does anyone know? Ooh, that's a good question. See, I get my crystals from an esoteric shop that I know, like she buys them from actual, I wouldn't say like farms, like people who mine for them. And I also get them, I get a lot of crystals off, I wouldn't say a lot. I get most of mine from that shop, honestly. I just have one particular shop that I always go to. And I've actually had a lot of these gifted to me too. Like this big ass quartz. Had this bad boy gifted to me. Now this is a really high frequency quartz. I've always wondered what kind of quartz this is though, because it's not like a normal quartz. Like this kind of feels like trigonic quartz when I put it on. I like even holding this makes my crown kind of blast the frick open. It's hard to hold. Now, I will say I'm not a fan of red jasper. Me and red jasper do not jive. We just don't jive. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. If I had, like somebody mentioned a grumpy deck earlier, like a grumpy tarot deck, this is my grumpy crystal. I don't like red jasper. I don't know what it is. I thought it was going to be great for protection, which is why I got it, because I had encountered a tarot reader one time and she used to put it on a crystal grid for herself in front of her readings. And we were talking about ways to kind of protect our energy in readings. And some people do that. They make a crystal grid when they're doing readings for clients and stuff. And I tried that for a while. It just kind of wasn't my thing. I don't like to have a crystal grid. I have an altar, which I guess I can show you my altar. It's right here. I have Poseidon, Hecate, shadow work. That's what we should talk about. If anything, we should talk about some freaking shadow work, because that's what the collective needs. To work on some damn shadow work. Ooh, sorry. You'll get a partner in crime. You will. You will. Trust me. Like, yeah, we cute. We cute. We got our struggles, but we cute. Remember, everything always looks nice and pretty on the surface, but behind closed doors, everybody's got their shit. Everybody's got their shit, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Let's see. Because he's definitely here to teach me some lessons. Oh, I know that. I know that. Because when we first met, talk about resurfacing wounds. Whoo! The universe was testing me. Yes, shadow work is the truth. I think it's interesting how crystal affect people differently, my sister and I. Yes, that is true. Yes, people can feel crystals super differently. Because I know when I had my boyfriend holding some of the crystals, he was feeling certain ways. And I would highly recommend getting, especially if you and your sister live together, or even if you don't live together, if you just have a friend and you guys share crystals or anything like that, Judy Hall's Crystal Bible. I know she has multiple editions of it. I don't even have my glasses on. I'm blind as a bat right now. I have, it's her Encyclopedia of Crystals, revised and expanded edition. I really like this because that exact reason. Like, for example, he might have experienced a crystal in one form, whereas I experienced it in a different way, and that's completely fine. I forget which crystal it was, but he expressed it in one way, and I was like, that's so weird. I don't experience it like that, but I could see why you would feel that way with that crystal, because that is a quality of that crystal, but I don't energetically experience that, but you can, right? And like, wow, that's really ironic. I opened up to lapis lazuli, and it's the one I'm wearing. I see what you did there. I see what you did. And then I'll talk about shadow work as soon as I talk about this. But like, for example, lapis lazuli is good for objectivity, clarity, stress, self-awareness, self-expression, anxiety, female hormones, menopause, PMS, immune system. I'm laughing at this. I didn't know it was for PMS. That's funny. Immune, I know, TMI, but it's just ironic, right? Women, you get me. It's cool. Insomnia. Well, that's fitting too. Pain. Wow. Migraine, depression. This is, wow. Respiratory. That's so funny. Respiratory and nervous systems, throat, larynx, thyroid, organs, bone marrow, thymus, hearing loss, blood, vertigo, blood pressure. This is funny because if I gave him this crystal to hold, he has insomnia, whereas I'm obviously PMSing. And I have really bad migraines, whereas, for example, like, he could have vertigo, right? Or blood pressure. They got blood pressure on that side of the family. But it's just, crystals have a lot of different qualities to them. So people can experience different things. I love this book, though. I highly recommend getting this book if you're really into crystals. Freaking highly recommend it. Hello, Alana. How are you? Okay, shadow work. What questions do we have about shadow work? Or you just want to hear what I do for my shadow work? Because that's a pretty hefty question, though. Let me check something out really quick. Sorry, it's my neighbor. Just my neighbor. Okay, what do you do for shadow work? Okay, so my shadow work is I do a lot of different things for shadow work, honestly. So for example, if we just want to just finish, got back from hello, Cappy Rising. I hope your job interview went well. Okay, so for my shadow work, I'll be transparent with you guys. I don't care. I have this, it's not just for my shadow work though. Like I use this journal for my manifestations. I use this journal for my new moons and full moons. But that's really just manifestation, honestly. I don't do anything crazy. And at the end of the day, shadow work is just being very honest, being very authentic, and being very real with yourself, right? So for my shadow work, which like I said in the beginning, if you missed it, people were asking like how this new moon in Aries really treated me. It was massive shadow work for me because Aries is my polarity, right? Because my sun is in Libra. So my sun, the core of my identity, right? My being, right? Was basically being challenged. So I was going through a lot of shadow work. And Aries is also the sign of self. It's a lot of reflecting on who you are, who you want to be, where you want to go, who you want to become. It's the first sign of the zodiac. So it was a big shadow work period. So if you're feeling like really lost right now, really confused right now, and questioning who you want to be, who you want to become, where you want to go, where your person is, all this energy, it's very natural. Nobody's immune to it, no matter how ascended they are or how spiritual they claim to be, right? Shadow work is an ongoing process. It's just healing. It's just accepting yourself, right? And that's a beautiful thing. That's amazing. It's an amazing thing. So I was doing some shadow work. And as you guys know, I said in the beginning, like my shadow work is pretty freaking lengthy. Yeah, thanks. I try to be goofy. I got a goofy side. But I really do a lot of journaling. I do a lot of thinking about myself in a sense of why do I really feel the way I'm feeling? Like is how I'm feeling valid, right? I'll ask myself that. Right, our emotions are always valid, but is how I'm feeling something that my ego is feeling, or is it something that I'm actually feeling and experiencing through the experience that is in front of me, right? So for example, I'll be super transparent. Like I'm very accustomed to chaotic relationships, like very emotionally, mentally abusive dynamics with people from my childhood and from my teenage years. So now that I have someone who's very stable and someone who's very loving and someone who's very not that, I literally wrote in my shadow work, like my aha moment, I'm so used to chaos that I create chaos and stress for myself and the environment because I don't know what it's like to just be at peace with a partner. I've only had that when I'm alone, right? So the difference is when I'm in a 9 of Pentacles energy, right? When I'm single as a Pringle, when I'm running my business, when I'm really comfortable and by myself, I felt really independent. I felt really strong. I felt very like capable of doing and being everything. And then in my partnership, I felt that energy dwindling, which is why I was saying before with this new moon in Aries, I feel like I got sick because the universe is like, yo, sit on your ass because you got to practice some self-care. Because there's a difference between being alone and feeling that confidence, but then being in a partnership and maintaining that and not losing yourself in that, right? And that was part of my shadow work, right? But it's being honest with yourself, that understanding that when another energy comes in, you need to separate your buckets. You need to maintain those buckets. But it's being aware of that, right? It's being very honest with yourself about that. It's not saying, well, my person's toxic and they're making me feel this. They're not making you feel anyway. They're pushing a damn button in you. They're pushing a trigger. They're not doing anything. Your ego is telling you that they're doing something. And your ego is telling you that because your ego wants you to run, because your ego is scared of getting hurt again. You're not going to get hurt again, but you are going to end up running again and not learning the lesson if you keep listening to your ego. But if you listen to your intuition and you allow yourself to be uncomfortable in the situation and you face that fear, you face that uncomfortable sense of self that you're feeling right now, and you just really authentically listen to it and address it, and you work through it, and you very vulnerably talk about that with your partner. Like me and my partner have a very open conversation about this because he actually has very similar thoughts. And it's awesome when you really talk to your person about these things, and you have that open dialogue, it's going to be a lot healthier for both of you. And ends up working out a lot better too. It's just like, I can breathe. Like, I can fucking breathe. I don't got to worry about shit. So a lot of my shadow work is journaling. A better way to do shadow work if you don't like writing is I really like mirror work. I like looking in the mirror and talking to myself, because it's going to create a new visual. It's going to create a new memory for you, right? Love your darker side. Do not ignore it. Exactly. Don't ignore your darker side. Hello, Miriam. Okay. Yeah, I like mirror work as well. Looking into the mirror and talking to yourself is a really healthy way of doing shadow work because it's going to create a new visual, right? Because shadow work is basically addressing the wounded child, and the wounded child isn't really like a child. It's just like parts of yourself that are hurting, right? Parts of yourself that are hurt, past parts of yourself that have trauma, that have pain, that are trying to protect you from experiencing those kinds of feelings again. And nobody wants to feel those kind of feelings again, but we need to recognize why we are putting up those walls, why we are putting up those barriers. Is there really a threat of that right now in this moment? Or is that just us being a little cautious, a little too cautious, right? So how often do we run from relationships or have a tendency to self-sabotage relationships, right? With creating bigger issues out of things that don't need to be bigger issues, or creating sabotaging situations in a work environment or a living situation or in our own prosperity or business, or sabotaging our own success because we're fearful of being successful or growing so successful that it's all going to be ripped away from out beneath us. So we stop trying, right? How often do we do that? Because of fear of losing it, fear of false evidence appearing real. But it's being honest with yourself and recognizing those thoughts in your mind and affirming to yourself, I am capable, I am strong, I am willing to overcome that. And writing those affirmations every day is going to reprogram the mind. And that's why I have that playlist of affirmations. It wasn't created, no offense, it wasn't created for YouTube. It's literally something I use myself to help me reprogram my mind after my accident, because I was not in a good place after my accident. Hey, Mark, great to see you too. Hey, Christine. Yeah, the ego, exactly. And that's why I named my ego. That's why I named my ego something, because it makes it separate than self. By naming your ego, so I named my ego Shannon, and it detaches it from me. It makes me be able to see, like, okay, that's not me. It might be a part of me, and Shannon will always be there with me, but she does not steer my life. She does not make decisions for me. She represents parts of me that at times she may be right. She may need to protect me, and that's fine. And I'm cool with that, but she's not going to make every decision for me, right? I'm going to filter through her, right? I'm going to be like, I don't agree with you on that one. So you can step back. Exactly. Ophelia. I like that. I don't just do it for the shadow work though. I love to and often crack jokes with myself. Exactly. Yeah. And shadow work can be really fun though. Like, so that's why I work a lot with Poseidon. Poseidon is actually, so the biggest way I do shadow work is through journeys, right? I do a lot of journeys. And when I say journeys are a form of controlled meditation. I wouldn't say guided because it's not like I'm listening to something. It's literally a form of going into a meditative state, and you are practicing meditation where you are going to a sacred space in your mind. So for me, with Poseidon always takes me to a spot in the ocean that is almost like a cavern underwater. And there, that is where I see the aspects of my shadow. So I'll see the people who've hurt me, who've hurt me, right? That victim perspective, right? And needing to address those, needing to find closure for myself that I need to find for me, right? Not through that individual, not seeking validation through that other person, like giving it to self, right? Because that healing is going to come through self. So yes, I love shadow work, but I like working with a god for shadow work because it's almost like having that partner. Because I remember one time I was doing shadow work and I was like, okay, I'm done here. I don't want to go any deeper, like into the ocean, like into my shadow, right? I don't want to look any further. And I remember when Poseidon was like, why? It's just a part of you. There's nothing there that you have not already seen. There's nothing there that you have not already experienced, right? They're already parts of yourself that you are aware of, that you've already been through. You might have to look at it again. It might not be pretty to look at, but it is something that you've already addressed. And so when you're doing shadow work, it's important to just allow yourself to feel those emotions, because sometimes it's not going to be easy. Sometimes you're going to want to cry. Sometimes you're going to want to be upset. Sometimes it's going to bubble up all those feelings all over again, and that's okay, because that's what needs to be purged, right? That's a dirty water theory. You have that dirty water, those parts of your shadow, that old pain, that old trauma that wants to bubble up to the surface. You need to allow it to bubble up because you need to make space. This bottle can only hold so much water, and it wants clean water. You don't want that dirty shit in there. Get rid of the dirty water. Allow that part of your shadow to come out, right? But in order to get it, you need to see it. You need to dig it. You need to pluck it out. And that's the purpose of shadow work, right? Because you're going to be integrating those parts of yourself. When you realize, oh, I do have codependent tendencies. I don't want to be codependent anymore. Okay, so I'm going to be independent. I'm going to choose to love me. I'm going to love me so much that I don't seek validation through my partner. I don't seek attachment to anything but self, because I give myself happiness. I give myself wholeness, and I love myself as who I am, right? I give myself everything that I need to be given, and I attract that so easily. And that's when you get that healthy connection, that healthy job, that 10 of Pentacles, that 10 of Cups. And it just comes to you like a magnet. Everybody says that I am a healer. What is that really means to my energy heals? I think that it don't matter what other people say. That's what I think. Because think about it. What do you think a healer is, right? Because my perspective of a healer is going to be different than your perspective of a healer, right? And I know when I went to readers, and I would ask them, well, what's my purpose? And they'd be like, well, you're going to be a chiropractor, you're going to be a doctor, and you're going to be, I was in a line of work that was going to be helping people. And to me, that's a healer, right? Someone who's just helping people. But to you, it can mean that your energy is healing, right? But to me, it's just someone who's helping people, right? So I'm a Reiki practitioner, so I know that my energy is healing, because honestly, that's my purpose. My purpose is to be a Reiki practitioner. I know I have a very clear channel, because if you've had a Reiki healing with me, you know that I do a whole channel on your entire body before we even get to a session usually. That usually freaks a lot of people out, but because I don't pull any tarot cards, I just start talking about what's going on in your chakras or what you've been experiencing or what people are around you. And that's why I enjoy tarot. Tarot is just fun to me. But my purpose is Reiki, because that's a healing energy, right? So it depends on what you want to do. I'm totally new spiritually, 4 months new, and I have angels floating next to my bed, talking to me, guiding and warning me. Be mindful of the energies that are around you, right? Always ask, who are you? Why are you here? Are you of my highest good? Because I remember when I first started getting into spirituality, and I thought that I had angels and higher order beings around me. And sometimes things can wear a mask just like humans can wear a mask. And sometimes things are not of your highest good. I'm not saying that's the case here. I'm just saying to be mindful of that. And that's why shielding and protecting our energy is so important, right? Because just like there's strangers in human world, there's strangers in higher dimensions as well. And you just want to be mindful of that is all. 3223 in the chat. That's crazy. So always ask, why are you here? What's your intention? Are you here to serve me to my highest good? Okay. And then please practice shielding yourself. Always shield yourself, because I know some people believe in attachments, some people don't. I personally do believe in attachments. I pull a lot of them off of Reiki clients. Sometimes they're of people's own manifestations and fears. Other times there are other energies that just cling to you, right? Because you're not protecting your energy properly. But that's just my belief. Some people believe in that, some people don't. So that's up to you. I'm not here to impose my opinions on other people, right? It's your belief system. That's totally fine. As we speak of shadow work, have you heard of the Oracle deck called Reclaim that was created specifically for shadow work? I haven't. I'm going to look that up. But I am going to hop off here soon because my camera battery is actually getting pretty close to dying, and I don't want it to die on us in the middle of me chit-chatting with you all. But I love you guys, and I just wanted to hop on a live and chit-chat with you for a little bit. It is also 10 o'clock here, so it's pretty late. And I will see you. I'll probably go live again tomorrow, honestly, because my mom has surgery, and I'm going to be at her house babysitting her all day while she's a little loopy. So I'll probably be doing the tarot readings for the zodiac signs live tomorrow at her house. I'll probably just bring a tarot deck and do it there. But I love you guys, and I hope you have a fabulous week, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Okay? Later, Gators.